Hey everybody, so this video is going to show you how to get your DataLooper completely up to date. So we'll be updating three things. The first is the MIDI Remote Script, the second is the firmware, and then the third we're going to reset back to the default configuration. So first I want you to visit the DataLooper website, and you can take a look here. If you go to the resources page, we'll be downloading the latest MIDI Remote Script package that also includes the firmware. So here we go. And then we'll also download the default config. So once that's downloaded, we'll extract that file and it'll come up with a folder that says DataLooper build. Then inside there, if you're on Mac OS, you'll see this package file. This package file will basically install the latest MIDI remote script for us. So if you see this security message, then you're going to go up to the system preferences here, go to security, and then click open anyway. If you don't see this, then you have to click this little lock and put your password in, and then click the open button. So once you've got the DataLooper installer open, you can click continue, and it should automatically find your Ableton installation. So once this installs, now the MIDI remote script is installed. Next, we're going to update the firmware. So you'll see in the same folder there's a program called DataLooper Updater. So open that up and you might see the same security message. Then you should see in this drop down menu something called DataLooper and then a long string of numbers. Now if you've got the version, the Rev 2 version, you're going to be selecting the Rev 2 firmware. If you've got the Rev 1, then you'll be selecting the Rev 1 firmware. The Rev 2 version looks like this, and it has the screen right in the middle, as well as the graphic with the kind of subdued gray. So let's go back here, and I'm going to select the Rev 2 version, so I'll just click upload, and then I'll find that file. And you'll see this blue bar go across the screen, and as soon as that's done, then you'll know the firmware is updated. Okay, so the last thing we have to do to get our DataLooper totally back to factory settings is go to the Configure tab here. And one thing to note is that you'll see the version of the config over here. Sometimes older versions of the config get cached, so make sure you're at least on 2.5. Now one way to make sure that you're not on a cached version is to click File and then New Incognito window and visit that config in an incognito window. Now when you do that, it'll automatically load the uncached version. So now we can open that default file that we downloaded, and you'll see all the commands pop in here. You can click around on the buttons and see what they do. Then you'll click this USB icon to make a connection to the pedal, and then in just a second I'm going to click this icon which will send the current preset to the pedal. So take a look here and you'll see when I press that button everything will turn red and then green, and then it'll be back to default. And that's all you need to know to get your DataLooper back to default settings. So if anything weird starts happening, like you're seemingly like not getting button presses going to Ableton or something like that, resetting everything back to normal and then testing with the default set is the best way to ensure that you don't have any weird problems going on. Thank you.